Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike Green. I'm one of the owners of 1A Auto. I want to help you save time and money repairing and maintaining your vehicle. I'm going to use my 20 plus years experience restoring and repairing cars and trucks like this to show you the correct way to install parts from 1AAuto.com. The right parts installed correctly. That's going to save you time and money. Thank you and enjoy the video.
In this video, we'll be showing you how to remove and replace the front hub bearing on this 2004 Dodge Intrepid. The hub is the same for all 93 to 04 Intrepids. So for the 98 to 04, it should be the same. 93 to 97, the procedure should be similar, maybe some differences. Tools you'll need: jack and jack stands, various millimeter wrenches, sockets with extensions, a large screwdriver or pry bar, a 34 millimeter socket with a breaker bar, a large hammer, a large C-clamp, and a torque wrench.
Okay, if you're just working with hand tools, you want to loosen your lug nuts while the wheel's on the ground first, then raise up and support your vehicle. I have the benefit of air tools, so I'm going to use it.
Okay, we'll fast forward through the rest of removing the wheel here, and we'll use fast forward in this video quite a bit when I'm doing monotonous tasks. And now you want to turn your wheel so you can reach your brakes easily, either by pulling it like this or using the steering wheel.
This piston is pushed out. As your brakes wear, the piston pushes out more. So you can actually reset it by sticking a large screwdriver or a small pry bar like this in and just prying on the brakes. And that does two things for you. Okay, it pushes that piston out down in there, and it also helps to get your caliper up and off easily. Okay, to remove your caliper, you're going to remove two 10 millimeter bolts, one there and one down there. And it's easily done with a small ratchet or wrench. Okay, now your caliper comes up and off.
Okay, just stop the action here for a second. You saw something drop out there. Those are the little slides, and you will see how to reinstall them later in the video. Obviously, if you drop anything out, you want to keep hold of it.
Okay, so obviously here's your hub. Okay, there's a 34 millimeter nut here. If you're using hand tools, you'll want to take the little cap off the center of your wheel, and with the car on the ground, you'll want to use a breaker bar or even a big piece of pipe or something to get leverage to remove this nut. I've got the benefit of an impact wrench, so I'm going to use it. Hang the caliper up there like that just for now, and really easy. The rotor comes right off.
Okay, next we're going to break the axle free from the hub.
Okay, so what you can do is take a large hammer, and you don't want to beat on this thing because you could ruin your CV joints, but if you just have to give it a couple whacks until you get it to move, then that's alright. What I've done here is I've turned my wheels all the way to the outboard position, and now the hub is held with 3 bolts. They're 18 millimeter, one here. You can see I've got my socket and extension onto that one there. And be very careful not to damage your CV boot here. Okay, and then there is also a third one on this side right here. So I'll turn my wheels back to get to that one. Okay, so these bolts are going to be tight, so I'm going to suggest a breaker bar like this. You can even use a piece of pipe. Gives you even more leverage. Okay, once you get them, they start going pretty good. Okay, my top bolt is still in a little bit, but I'm just going to break my hub free here.
Okay, now that we have that broken loose, we'll speed it up here as I just remove that top bolt the rest of the way.
Hub's out. Okay, so new hub from 1A Auto. Exact same as the old hub. Everything's going to go in, bolt in, and everything the same. These vehicles, if you have ABS, you just have an alternate sensor over here, and you actually have a different axle. So the ABS doesn't really make a difference. You just want to put the hub on, get it started onto the axle a little bit, push it in. Okay, start one of these easy bolts first. Just make sure you push the axle on flush to the steering knuckle. Just kind of shake the bolt around so you feel it start. Okay. And we'll start this bolt here. Okay. Now we'll start this one on top. Okay, you want to start them first. You want to start them all first, then snug them up, and then tighten them.
Okay, we'll speed it up here as all I'm doing right now is just kind of getting those bolts snug. You want to put them in, start them all first, then just tighten them up snug, and then you'll torque them to 90 foot-pounds afterwards.
Okay, now I'm going to use my torque wrench. I'm going to go to 90 foot-pounds with these. Okay, now I'm going to put my center nut back on. Now I'm going to use my impact wrench, and I'm just going to tighten it up preliminarily, and I'm going to watch the back as it gets sucked in. I'm not going to tighten it all the way. I'm not going to tighten it up all the way until I get the wheel back on the ground. So what I like to do is just put a lug nut on here just to hold the disc in place while you're putting the brakes together. Okay, so before you go to put your calipers back on, you want to make sure that your piston is reset all the way into your caliper. And hopefully if you pried it out, that's already the case. But if you didn't have something to pry it with, you can use a large C-clamp, put your old pad back in there, and then use the C-clamp to push that piston back into your caliper. Okay, so the rear pad has that clip on it. You just press it into the caliper, and then the front pad has this kind of butterfly clip on it. You just take it and kind of pull that clip out a little bit and then snap it down in there. Okay, so you've got your pads back into your caliper, and these are little slides. they actually just kind of hang off of here. So you put the lower one on, okay, then you take your caliper and make sure that these boots are back on these bolts or these sleeves here. And then what you want to do is put your pad against it and push kind of out on your caliper and seat the shoes, or the pads have little teeth that go right onto that slide, and then you do have to kind of pull it out, put it down on, okay, and then this upper slide, basically you can just kind of push your pad up like that, okay, pull your rotor and pad up back a little bit, slide underneath, and it goes in just like that. So a close up on what that should look like. Okay, and then down here, what it should look like. And then take your bolts to the back side, just kind of push on the caliper a little bit, get them started. Okay, get that one started. Okay, 10 millimeter. Okay, torque wrench we're going to tighten these up to 25 foot-pounds. Okay, now we can remove this lug nut. Okay, so we'll fast forward as I remove that lug nut, and then I'm obviously going to put the wheel and tire back up in place. And what I'm just going to use is I'm going to thread the lug nuts on by hand and then use my air ratchet just to tighten them preliminarily. Okay, now here I'm going to tighten that center hub nut to 105 foot-pounds and torque it up. Again, that's 105 foot-pounds. And then I'm going to put on my 19 millimeter socket, torque the lug nuts to 90 to 100 foot-pounds. Put the little center cap back on. And then very important, you've taken your brakes apart, so before you drive the car, make sure you pump your brakes, make sure the brakes work properly before you road test it. So, put it in gear, then make sure the car holds in gear, then do like a 5-mile-an-hour stop and a 10-mile-an-hour stop before you go out and road test your vehicle. We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.1aauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.